welcome to the Alden Alliance Poker Podcast, Season 5, Episode 9. I'm Lee McDonald Jr.
And I am Michael Super Irrelevant Benton.
Oh, you're going from Mr. Irrelevant to Super Irrelevant. I see how it is.
Well, that's what the league director put on the standings, Michael Super Irrelevant. So I went from irrelevant. Yeah. So I guess I'm going up.
There you go. That's a promotion. I guess Mr. Irrelevant was just plain irrelevant. So Super is moving up.
That's like saying Clark Kent was just a man, but then we became his alter ego. He was Superman, right?
Yeah, when there's too bad there's no nearby phone booths anywhere.
Welcome to the fastest, slowest 3 minutes in poker. And this week, we are down to the last week. So let's recap what happened in week 9. First out, Robert +1. 21st, Eric +2. 20th, Peyton +3. 19th, Noe +4. 18th, Dan +5. 17th, Tanya +6. 16th, Junior, the kid, has slid down quite a bit with +7. However, he did take out Noe, who is in the top. That gives him an additional 2 points, which is +9. Heath went out 15th with +8. Gabe went out 14th with +9, but had a 7-2, which gives him an additional point with +10. Lee McDonald Jr., our co-host, went out 13th with +10. King Marty went out 12th with +11. Ronnie the Wild Man, RIP, +12. Peyton, who took out Peyton, who had a bounty, which is an additional +2, giving him a total of +14. Will went out 10th with +13, but took out Tanya for an additional point with +14. Tristram went out at 9th with +14. Chris the House went out 8th, +15, but also had a 7-2, which gives him a +16. Marcia went out 7th with +16, but kept her bounty and survived the night, giving her an additional 2 points with +18. Michael, our co-host, Mr. Irrelevant, for this week, went out 6th with +17, who also survived the night, giving him an additional point with +18. Aubrey came out strong, finishing in 5th place with +18, who took out Junior, who was in the top, also had a 7-2 and survived the night for an additional 4 points, giving her a +22. Mike, with a strong comeback, went out 4th with +19, who took out Dan, who's in the top, Chris, who is in the top, who also had a bounty. He survived the night and had a high hand of a royal flush. Nate, the worst player in the league, not so much, 3rd place with +20, who took out Marty and survived the night with +2, giving him a total of +22. My Andy Lantickner, yours truly right here, came in 2nd place for the first time in a while, giving her +21. But wait for this all. She took out Gabe, who was in the top, and then also took out our super bounty, took out Lee, who's also in the top, who had a bounty, took out Will, Ronnie, who had a bounty, Tristram, who's in the top, survived the night and had the most souls, giving myself an additional +15 with a total of +36. And the winner of last week was Senior with +22. However, he also took out the other super bounty and Heath and survived the night with an additional +5, giving him +27. So what does that leave us in the standings with 1 week to go? The final countdown. No Way is still in 1st place with +200. Junior not far behind with +197. Mr. Irrelevant is in 3rd with +155. Chris the House is tied with Tristram in 4th place with +153. 6th is Lee, who's holding on in the top 8 with +127. Senior hopped right back up into the top 8 with +126. Marcia also jumping into the cut with in 8th place with +125. Just below the cut is Nate and Gabe tied for 9th place and with +124. Marty in 11th with +120, tied with Ronnie with also +120. 13th is Dan with +119. Will is 14th with +110. Andyland is 15th with +103. And if I have another night like I did the other night, we are going to be potentially making the cut for the first time. Aubrey's not far behind me in 16th with +101. Eric is in 17th with 92. Peyton in 18th with 90. Mike is in 19th with +87. Heath is in 20th with +81. Tanya is in 21st with +77. And Robert is in last place in 22nd with +67. And that is your fastest, slowest 3 minutes in poker.
So if you're wondering where everyone is basically they're still on vacation or doing something. So right now it's just me and Michael. Michael's back for his 7th time on the show, a record that is standing today that no other guests are. Well, he's actually technically not even a guest today. He's a regular. So he's not only moving up in his name, but he's moving up from the poker podcast world too. So he is a regular today. So thanks for coming on, Michael.
You're welcome. Another way to put it is we're really scraping bottom now, getting me on here.
That's not true at all. I said I wanted somebody competent and who could definitely remember, because it's been, 2 weeks since we've been off, since the 18th of December when we last played our week 9, which...
Yeah, we're going on 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And not only that, it's the most important week of the whole season. It's week 10 coming up. It's going to be a tense night. At the time of recording, it's January 5th on Monday. So we still got a few more days till our final week of our 12th season of All In Alliance. And it's definitely going to be one of the most tense weeks that we've ever had.
We are in the final countdown.
Yes, the final countdown. We are definitely there. So to kind of recap what we can remember, what we did, I remember Senior had won the night. Andy actually had the most points, if I remember right. She had 35 or 36 points.
Yeah.
She had the most eliminations, most bounties collected. I was friggin' one of them. And she had a clear shot to win her very first night ever for a single week of the All In Alliance. However, she friggin' had to play one more hand that she had no business playing. And from what Mike can remember, I'm going to let Michael tell the rest of this.
Well, I was at the final table, and as I remember it, she was by far the chip leader, and Jeremiah Sr. went all in, and Andy had a hand, but the only thing she could have gained at that point was 1 point by taking Senior's soul, not even 2 points because he wasn't in the top 8. But she gambled it. She gambled first place to call that hand, and she lost to Jeremiah Sr., which I believe transferred the chip lead from Andy to Jeremiah Sr. So Andy probably shouldn't have called that hand. She had nothing to lose. I mean, she had everything to lose and nothing to gain in my mind, because she would have got the extra point for the most chips. So yeah, she called it. She's a gambler. I think it might have had something to do with TX whiskey, but she did call it, and God bless her. But it was the wrong call.
And what do we call that? That was the what call?
That was the drunk call.
Drunk call
tonight.
I love it. Yes.
We should have that as a weekly. We wait the drunk call of the night.
Drunk call of the week. Yes. Oh my God, that would be awesome. I love that.
Even if, like me, who doesn't drink, if it's a stupid call, call it the drunk call.
The drunk call. We just made up. We made up a thing. This is the drunk call of the week. Andy, you're our first drunk call of the week, so I hope you're proud. But you're right. Yeah, she had a clear chip lead all the way to the end. Win her first night of a weeknight for All In Alliance, and she made the drunk call of the week. So that's how it'll be infamous. But she did take out the most souls and the most bounties. So kudos to her for taking the most points.
I vividly remember that I pulled ahead of Chris the House Woodmansey. He went out before me. We were tied going into the week, and now I'm 2 points ahead of him. And
he sucks.
Tristan as well. Tristan was in solid third by himself. And I think this was the week. I hope Tristan, I know he's moved to up to Denver, but I hope he's listening to this. But I think he took Phil's advice to go all in on a hand when he shouldn't have. And then he got busted out. And if it wasn't for that, he would have probably remained third. It was this week or the week before, or whatever. But because of that hand, I took back third again and took over Chris and Tristan. So now both of them are tied. Then both of them are tied for fourth.
That's right. And one else thing that happened in that night is actually I had won some hands. I hadn't done really well in the last couple of weeks around that time. And so I was at the same table as Andy. I got to witness a lot of what she did. And when it come down to it, when I was getting ready to be blinded out, I'd finally made it to, I think it was when blinds were 40-80. I went all in with about 200K, and Andy calls, everybody else folds. I said, you had to call, really? You had to call? I'm in the lead because after the flop, I had, I think it was ace king or ace queen. Or no, it was ace jack. It was ace jack. And I believe the flop come ace something 3. And I don't know what she had at the time, but then a junk card came on the turn. And another 3 come on the friggin' river. And of course, what does she turn over? She calls me with 3-2. She calls me at 3 deuce. And I'm like, why in the hell are you calling with 3 deuce? She just said, well, I felt lucky. And I'm like, drunk call. Yes, definitely a drunk call. It was later in the night. So that's what knocked me out, but helped propel her to the victory that she had, because I also had a bounty on me. So she got my soul and bounty. I think I had taken out one other person earlier that night, but I got to keep that. Some of the other highlights were when she eliminated Tristram. So I'm thinking, I don't know if that Phil advice was that night, or like you said, it may have been the week before, because Tristram went all in, and the board had, I want to say it had 3 8s on the board, and then there was a 10, and there was something lower than an 8. Well, he had the 10, so he goes all in. She calls, she's got pocket jacks. So she beat him. She beat him out of the pot. She thought it was going to be, he thought it was going to be a tie at the worst. But no, she had pocket jacks, and no one saw that coming. So that was kind of the moment of the night when everybody just saw her turn it over, and they went, oh. But yeah, so
that happened. That happened more than once, where Andy had a higher full house than somebody else. I wish she was on here to tell us, but that happened at least one at a time. I might have been against Marty, but she had a higher somebody had a full house, but she had a higher one. That happened twice in the final table.
You're right. I think that did happen. Yeah. She had a pocket pair that time. Marty, what was he? Did he start out at our table? I can't remember if he started at our table, but he's out of town. He's still in Germany visiting his son, who's in the military over in Germany. So they're coming back, or maybe he's somewhere else now. I think he's in France, maybe, because I think
he's at a casino, whatever hotel he's at. He sent us a picture that there's a casino there.
Right. The only hotel in the area that had a casino, and he got lucky and picked it. Of course, he had in Texas. What the results are of his casino visit, probably not good.
That might be telling.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I hope he's got enough euros to come back, or converted from dollars to come back. But yeah, so hopefully he's doing good. But yeah, I can't remember where Marty was that night. God, we should have not waited 2 weeks to do a podcast, but man. But so Marty, if I remember right, he went out fairly early though.
I think it was middle of the pack. He was out.
I think you're right.
But I think Gabe, I think he was either middle of the pack or he was one of the first out at the final table. I don't remember. It was just, I know, I'll tell you something else I remember too. It is just, now that we're talking about it, my memory's coming back. It was a tough night for me. I made it to the final table, but I remember on the way home telling Christy that it dawned on me, I made to the final table. I didn't make it deep into the final table, but I made it to the final table. And the whole night, the best hand I had was trips. I never had a straight or flush or a full house or anything like that. Yeah. So,
I mean, that's a good night though, because you let everybody else, you play the right way. You're not supposed to put your money in danger by over bluffing and things of that sort. And you know what? I got to give you your flowers, because I don't think if we kept a stat of how many people made the final table out of the 9 weeks that we've played, I would wager that you're probably up there with the most final tables out of everybody that we've had, because I'd say you maybe made at least 7 or 8 final tables out of the 9 weeks. Is that right? Or maybe all 9?
No, definitely no. I missed 2. I missed the last 2. So yeah, I think I made all but 2.
So all but 2. So still 7 out of 9 weeks. That's amazing for this kind of caliber of league. And so yeah, I'm definitely saying that you have had a hell of a season. You're at 150 plus points. There's only 3 people, maybe 4 or 5 people that have that many points that can say that have that many points. So kudos to you, man. You're having a hell of a year.
It would have been one more, except the week before, the 2 weeks before, I went all in with aces, and Gabe had suited Queen 4 or something. He called me, and he ended up catching the flush on that. She had no business calling that hand, but he did.
How do you call with Queen 4? Of course, you know what the saying is, but they were suited.
He actually looked at me and he said, "This is a hand I can die on." And when he saw I had pocket aces, he thought it was over. And then he actually got the flush on he didn't even wait for the river. He got it on the turn.
So, Jesus.
I know. Yeah. I tell you what, I had a hard time with that one. I did. Christy will tell you. I had a hard time with that one for a week.
We always remember the hands we die on or the bad beats that we take, but we can never remember the great nights that we have. It's always the worst nights.
That was a pretty decent pot up until that point. So I would have walked away from that hand with over 1 million chips. And I was we were like on the bubble or one away from the bubble. So I'd have made the final table. But he took away about 90% of my chips in that hand. And yeah, I came home that night and I had some work to do. And I worked till 3:15 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Get the work out of my system. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That was a tough one. So,
Talk about
if Gabe
sleep
listens,
at night.
yeah, Gabe got one on me there.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's got quite a few people this winter, so that's kudos to Gabe. He's you never see him coming, I guess.
Although when we talk about what we've done in the intervening 2+ weeks, when we talk about Gabe's, I'll tell you how I got him back.
There you go. There you go. So some of the other highlights of the night, I know that Keith had dominated the week before. That was week 8. Couldn't do much on week 9. He did sit at my table, and I think he won a couple hands, but he went out a little bit early. Tristan went out to Andy, we mentioned. Was Chris at my table? No, he was at table. He was in the dungeon. That's right. He of all the times that we've played upstairs at his new house, I think since he moved there, this past summer, he's never sat in the dungeon. I guess he must have felt guilty setting himself up because he knows he was not going in there, and he said, I better go in there at least once so I can say I've been in there once. So finally gets in the dungeon for the first time, and I don't think he made it out. Do you remember if he made it out of the dungeon?
I'm pretty sure I was in there with him, and I do think he made it out. Because I only beat him by 2 points, so he made it pretty far.
Oh,
but I think he went out just 1 or 2 before me.
Okay.
Because we were tied. We were tied in 4th, I think, with Tristan in 3rd. I have to go back and look, but we were tied, and now I'm only 2 points ahead of him.
So he made it out of the dungeon.
He definitely made it out.
And then we had Dan in there. I think Dan was out early, wasn't he? If I remember right. Was he in the dungeon?
He was in the dungeon. He was the one in front of the TV, but I don't think he got out. I know he was having a hard time at first.
Oh, if I remember right, Tina was out first, I think. Because Tina was subbing for, I want to say Ronnie, was it? Or somebody else?
Yeah, Tina was out. And by the way, Dan did go out early because he only got 5 points. He did go out early.
Yes. Unfortunately, can't remember the details. But yeah, Dan was out early. Phil, I think, was out early too. I'm trying to remember where Aubrey placed. But yeah, it was a surprising night. There was a lot of people that went out that don't normally go out that early. Maybe Aubrey made it to the final table, but this is why you don't do a podcast after 2 weeks. Nate, actually, I think Nate made it to the...
Aubrey did pretty well, it looks like, because she was in, the week before she had 79 points, and so she ended up with 22 points.
Okay, not bad. That's pretty good for her.
Yeah, 20 points, yeah.
I think Nate was at my table the whole night, if I remember right. He did pretty good. I think he outlasted me that night.
Yeah, Nate got 22 points as well, and he's one off the cut now.
Yes, and Junior, who's in the running for MVP, which is most points of the entire season, him and Noe, who actually just hopped on with us, Noe. Hey, how you doing, bud? But yeah, you're fighting for MVP of the league, you and the kid. It looks like it's pretty much going to be just you two because I don't see any. I mean, Michael, you're third, but with 155, and they almost had both of them at 200. That would be nearly 40 to 50 points you'd have to make up in one night, which is pretty hard. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be between.
Nobody had a bad night too. He must have been out right before Dan because he only got 4 points that night. That's what allowed Junior to close the gap.
That's right. He did have a bad night. Sorry to come on knowing, and then all of a sudden we talk bad about you. But yeah, that was not your best night, but you could afford it because you're still point leader. And then Tristan, we already mentioned him. Gabe, he didn't have the best night, I don't think, but he did pretty good. I think he did. Did he make it to the final table or not? I don't think he did.
No, I don't think. I think he got out right before, but let me verify.
Yeah. And of course, Will, was he at your table? Was Will at your table?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's right. He was at table 2. So the dungeon is table 3. So Will was at table 2. I think it was with Noe, and I think it was Robert that dominated that table at table 2 because I seem to remember him taking out quite a few people from that table. I think maybe Noe may have been one of them, or if not, he may have taken a big chunk out of them as somebody else finished off Noe.
Gabe was middle pack. He got 10 points that night.
Oh, okay. And then we had Eric. I can't seem to remember. Was he at your dungeon table, Eric? Or maybe, oh no, Eric was a no-show. Eric was a no-show. I think he only took 1 or 2 points. If I remember right.
Yeah, I think he was a no-show, but let's see. Yeah, he took 2 points. Yep, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, so he was the no-show. And then I want to say somebody subbing for Heath. I think Keith was for Ronnie, and then Phil was for Heath, or maybe Tanya, and then we had one more sub for Heath or Tanya. It may have been Tina. Oh, Mike. Mike is another one. He was at my table because I remember him going out to Andy as well. I think he was either first eliminated or third or fourth, because he also had a hand that was against Andy that was unexpected. And Andy,
I'm pretty sure Peyton was out early too. He only got like 3 points that night.
Yes, that's true too. You're very right. I think he was in the dungeon though, wasn't he? Or was he at table 2?
No. If I was in a dungeon, he wasn't there. I think I was in the dungeon. I'm pretty sure that's where I started.
So he may have been at table 2 then. So yeah, Peyton had a bad night. And I think that almost covers everybody. I think we mentioned Robert. We mentioned Eric. Yeah, we mentioned Ronnie, Marty. Yeah. Marcia. Yes,
Marcia had a good night. She had a good night.
Yes. No. She was at my table. Now I remember. She was another one that, oh, God, I hate to even think of this hand because it was one of the few times that I got pissed off at her. And then she called me and says, "You're mad at me. You're never mad at me." I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. And I'm inside. I'm like, I'm fucking pissed. Yeah, I hadn't won a hand all night. I was starting out bad. I really, really needed this pot, and I'm begging her. I'm saying, "Marcy, you don't have to call. You don't have to chase. Just let me win one hand. Please let me win one hand." She's like, "Oh, but I got to. I'm on a roll. I'm doing good." And so she calls, and I made it a big bet too. I think it was like blinds were like 4-8. I throw in like 50 some odd K. And she said, "But I'm running so hot right now." So she calls, and of course she hits her straight on the turn. And then at that point, she's like 250. And I'm like, fuck. So I fold, and then I'm steaming, and she's all, "Lee, don't be so mad. Don't be so mad." And she's all trying to make me feel better. I'm like, ah. So then I think that was when I started winning some hands. And then, yeah, of course, I was like, "Oh, yeah. What straight? I don't remember any straight." In the back of my head, yeah, fucking straight. But yeah,
well,
it was.
She made a big jump. She went from 8 below the cut to the cut. But let's try something new. After what that story, that was vicious. Let's see if the nickname Black Widow can stick with her.
Oh, hey. We did give her a nickname, Maserati. She's loving that name. But we can try Black Widow. I mean, you can have more than one name, like Andy. She's got Candyland or Andyland or whatever it is.
Candyland, yeah.
And Mystery Ball. So if we can give her 2
drunk call,
give Marcia a drunk call. That's going to stick. I'm loving that one. So yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. Surprisingly, that's a lot more info than I thought we were going to get out.
Yeah, just jog the old memory. And Gabe, you're joined. We talked about you earlier. I'm still smarting over that Queen 4 suited caller gets my bullets. I'm still smarting over that one.
Yeah, ace is cracked. That was week 9. And so the standings are as follows. Number 1 is still Noe at plus 200. Number 2 is Junior, or the kid, at 197. So only 3 points difference between them for MVP. Third place, Mr. Super Irrelevant, Michael Benton, is at 155 plus. Chris the House, 153 plus. Tristram is tied at 153 plus. Me, I'm in 6th place with 127 plus, trying to fight to stay alive. And 7th place Senior is 126 plus. Marcia Maserati is at 125 plus. Nate is tied with Gabe for 9th place, both at 124 plus. Marty is at 120 plus. Also tied with him is Ronnie at 120 plus. Dan is at 119 plus. Will's at 110 and 14th. And then in 15th is Andy, who climbed all the way out of the cellars. She jumped like 3 or 4 spots. She's at 15th place at 103. She leapfrogged Aubrey, who is at 101. Eric is at 92. Peyton at 90. Mike at 87 points at 19th. Heath is 20th place at 81. And 21st, his wife Tanya at 77. And then last place, 22nd, Mr. Robert is at 67, but I'm sure he's happy because the Steelers won last night in rare fashion, which actually brings up another subject. The bet that you had actually at the first with me, it come to me early in the season, like at NFL season week 4 or 5, when the Ravens were down and out. They were like 1-4 or something. You said, I'll bet the Ravens come back and win that division. I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay, you want to bet? And I think we said $50 at first. And then Marty had chimed in like a week later and said, oh, I'll get in on that. And I said, well, you know, just take over my bet because that's really your team. So it'll be you against Michael. And then your one.
It came down to a kick.
Your one
Believe it or not,
kick away. I couldn't believe it. I thought you had in the bag after last night. I was watching.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That kick was the final play of the game, correct? The missed kick.
The final play, yeah.
So it came down to that bet came down to the final play of the NFL year, if you can believe that.
I can't believe it. I was in shock. And they mismanaged that whole drive, though. They should have actually had enough to get closer because I don't know why they left, you know, everything up to a rookie kicker to make a 40-plus yard field goal. They had enough time to at least make another couple more yards and make it a little bit easier.
That's Baltimore. That's Baltimore. You know, I always say, like, in the countdown, when the time is of the essence, good players, the game slows down. But for the Baltimore Ravens, whether it's Lamar Jackson, the game speeds up. He'll throw an untimely interception or something always goes wrong. There's something wrong with that team because it's too good to be as bad as they are, right? They're too good.
Exactly. So, well, unfortunately for you Ravens fans, they choked and they lost. But we got a couple of Steelers fans, so I know Robert and Marty are both flying high. I wish Marty would have recorded himself watching that kick. That'd have been awesome to see his reaction on that.
Well, you can record me giving him $50.
Hopefully, maybe he'll just say, never mind, or something like that. Maybe you can do double or nothing and say, hey, how far do you think the Steelers are going to go in the playoffs? And if he says, well, they'll make it past game 1, then it'll be $100. But if they lose, then you can say no, because I think, aren't they playing somebody really tough? Like, it's not Buffalo, is it?
It's probably Houston, right?
Oh, it's Houston. Yeah, Houston. Houston's gonna beat them. I'd say double or nothing if I was you.
I'll see what he wants to do. But you know what? The good thing about Pittsburgh is they're hosting it.
Well, yeah, that's true. They're tough in Pittsburgh, but still, though, Houston. Oh man, their defense is unbelievable. So yeah, if it were me, I would.
However, would Pittsburgh have Metcalf back for the playoffs?
I don't think it'll matter. Well, I think he did play. Didn't he play last night?
No. He was gone at least the last 2 games. That's why they lost against the Browns, and he didn't play last night. No.
Oh, wow.
Marquez Scantlin, Valdez, whatever, you know. MVS, the guy who used to play for the Chiefs, he was their best receiver last night, I think, or at least their deep threat. But no, Metcalf did not play.
Oh, wow. I don't think it'll matter, dude, though. That Houston defense, I mean, they are something else. But I don't know. It's awfully tempting. I mean, you're already in $50 in the hole now. You could make it nothing. But I guess
you know what,
you and Marty.
I know this is a poker podcast, but this is the weirdest NFL season. There is nobody that you can actually put money on and feel safe.
Right. It's the way Vegas loves it. It's
right now people are dogging Buffalo, and I still think Buffalo's got just as good a chance as anybody.
They got the best
shout out to Andy there.
They got the best quarterback on both sides. Well, even Stafford, I think, may be a little bit better than him as far as throwing wise. But I mean,
but not the complete package.
Right. I think Stafford's a little too old, can't move very well, not very mobile, so he better be on his A+ game. But Rams got a tough schedule ahead, so we'll see.
Yeah, they
they got Carolina, which they should be able to beat Carolina. But yeah, it'll be an interesting playoff. It'll definitely be that. All right, so as far as us, this is kind of like a playoff week that we got coming up. Week 10, it's our last week of 10 weeks. And if we look at the schedule, or not the schedule, the standings, from myself, which is in 6th place, I'd say all the way down to 14th, which is Will. That's 8 people that are fighting for only 3 spots. So
hold on a second. Hey, real quick, Gabriel wants you to send him a link to this. But who did you cut off right there? Who was the one person after Will that you just dismissed? It was that.
Oh, was that Andy?
Yeah.
But you know what, though? She was at plus 60 during week 8. And when she had that 36 weeks, now she's at plus 103. So, I mean, yeah, she's capable of having one of those nights as she did during week 9.
It would be a night where everything goes right. Yes.
Right.
And she couldn't call senior on the last hand.
Yes, most definitely. The drunk call.
The drunk call, yeah.
So, I mean, if she's capable of doing it again, I mean, it's hard to do it back-to-back weeks, but, I mean, she's proven she's capable. If she gets another plus 36, that puts her at plus 139, and she's going to need a lot of help, though. It's almost like the Lions. Like during the last couple of weeks, they needed to win out, and Green Bay and Chicago lost. Well, they did. They both lost, but the Lions, all they needed to do is beat the fucking Vikings. They couldn't even do that. So against a third-string quarterback. So go.
But you know what? Crazy things can happen because this is the final countdown, and you're going to see people trying to make moves that they normally don't play, right? Yeah. So a lot of things can happen. People can drop out early, or people can go on a run. If something can happen crazy, it'll be this week.
Oh, yes, most definitely. And it's also from seasons past, it's been notorious that it's been the most tense week, and people are on edge, not playing like they normally do. They have to change up their style, whether they play more loose or they play more tight. It's the weirdest week of all the weeks, and we're about to have it. It's kind of like a playoff week for us. So it's like going right into the playoffs of the NFL. Same with us. I almost wish we were having the garage because we could all sit together instead of the dungeon and then 2 tables. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be upstairs where we normally are. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a tense night.
So you're saying that there's going to be 9 or 10 players for 3 spots. So you're thinking that the top 5 spots under Tristram, Chris the House, Mr. Irrelevant, Junior, and Noe are in, right? So you're talking about the final 3 spots?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nobody that's going to catch Tristram, who's at 153. I mean, even me, he's the closest. I'm at 127. That's 26 spots. I mean, it's doable, but I mean, he'd have to have 3 or 4 people have 30 plus points, which is, I'd say, almost impossible. Like,
and him go out early. All that would have to happen, right?
Yes. So he'd have to go out with like 1 or 2 points, and everybody else in the 4 that could pass him would have to have 30 plus nights. So that ain't gonna happen. So I'm pretty sure the top 5 are locked.
Who's subbing for Tristram?
Good question. I do not know because he's moved, hasn't he?
Yeah, probably Phil, I guess.
Most
Phil. I think I heard him say that Aubrey, if she doesn't make the final table, is going to play for him in the final table, I think. But, I mean, that's his call. I'm not sure.
I wonder how that would work because she's a regular. You know, Phil's not necessarily a regular. So I'm wondering if there's – I mean, did we do that? Do you remember if we did that last season?
There was no everybody showed up at the final table last season.
Okay. So this is the season that we've actually had a final table created from the top 8 where somebody cannot be there. I mean, unless if he like had to come back in town for some reason, and he all of a sudden was able to play. It's looking like we're going to have to find a sub. And I guess technically if you're eliminated from playoff contention that you could become a sub. I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't be a rule. So
it wouldn't bother me.
It wouldn't bother me either. But we'll have to find out about that. I'm pretty sure that shouldn't be a rule, though. I'm thinking anybody who's eliminated should be able to sub.
But if they're going to be at the final table, I'd rather like use Elijah or something.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yes. That's funny. All right, so, and there you have it. We got week 10 coming up. It's going to be a very tense night. What are your predictions? Who do you think has the best shot of making the final table, of being in the top 8 out of those?
Oh, boy. You're putting me on the spot. Yes, Dan and Nate Nate has been charging. Man, Marty, Ronnie, we got to talk about Ronnie, but jeez. You know what? You know that old adage, you are what your record is?
Yes.
So I'm going to go with what's currently there. I'm going with you, Senior, and Marcia because we are what our record. I'm going to play it safe. The people that are there now are people that's going to make it.
Wow. Okay, well, there you go. I'm going to take a little bit of a different route because I'm notorious for choking when it comes to these things. So last 3 seasons I have choked. I've missed the playoffs by 1 point, by 3 points. So if anybody knows how to choke, so not that I say I'm hoping to choke or that I think I'm going to choke. I'm going to try my damnedest, but I'm going to have to give it to Gabe. Gabe has been doing pretty good lately, and he's been trying some new things. He's got that new Club WPT app that he's been working on. So I think Gabe is one. Marcia is one of the most solid players that I know. I think she's going to make it. And then my last one will have to be a fight between possibly Nate and Dan. And I really hope, at least for my advantage, that they get locked in the same table early so that they could take each other out or team up. You never know. But yeah, so I'm hoping between Nate and Dan. Chris had a duos tournament not too long ago where it come down to Nate, Dan, and Chris. Chris was kind of out of it because he wasn't playing many hands. So it was really whoever was going to win is going to be between Nate and Dan. And Dan got the worst suck out on Nate. Nate went all in and he calls, and he only calls on the straight draw, but it's an open ender, and he hits. And it just knocked Nate. He didn't even eliminate Nate because Nate was chip leader, but he hits and cripples Nate, and Nate just will still never let him live it down. So I'm going to pick Nate to be in my other spot to overcome Dan this time.
So you're going with Marcia, Gabe, and Nate, and say goodbye to yourself, Leland, or Senior, Marty, and Dan. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to pick an alternate, I'd say maybe Marty because he missed last season. I know he's really going to push hard to make this season. So, but I'm thinking Marty might be my alternate. So, but right now it's Marcia, Nate. I'm thinking this order too. Marcia, Nate, and then Gabe will be in that order. I think Gabe will make the cut.
Let me ask you there. Do we know if anybody is not showing up? Because Marcia she misses from time to time. Like she doesn't show up at times. Is she going to be there?
You're right. So far as I know, I have not heard a thing, but I think once we get closer these next couple days, we'll hear a lot more. So far as I know, everyone will be there. Everyone that's normally there should be there. So Marcia should be there.
I reserve the right to change my order depending on if somebody doesn't show up.
You got it. You got it. So week 10 coming up on what is that? It's going to be the 8th of January. So that'll be our last week. And then we're going to take the next week to do our final table, which you'll be there. Hopefully I'll be there and everybody else that we named. And then we'll be back for another season. I'm not sure exactly what we're looking at. If we're going to be doing another 10-week or a short 5-week or a duos or what it is. But we'll be back for season 13. 13 of these things. I can't believe we started it 4 years ago, and here it is all of a sudden we're now on 13 seasons of this stuff. So it's pretty fun.
I'm pretty sure Chris said it's going to be another 10-week season, but
okay.
We can check with that.
Did I hear you right that you are going to be bringing in a person or a few people?
Well, I just checked. One guy, he doesn't think so because now he's going to be traveling. But the other one, there was some confusion with, was it Eric? No. Who's, can't think of his name right now.
Will, Aaron?
Eric? No, the guy been subbing. The guy that's been playing for Ronnie.
Oh, Keith.
Yeah. Some, I was going to bring him in under me, but then Chris said that I used the wrong verbiage that I got to pay for it. I'm like, well, that's not what I meant. I said I was going to sponsor him in. So he said, well, then Keith gets to decide who he's going to come under. So I don't know who he's going to pick now.
Oh, okay. So that's for the new season that we'll be having?
Yeah, for the new season. Yeah, the other guy's going to bring, we played years and years ago, and I think he does want to play, but I think if we start the next week, he's going to be out. But I'm going to work on him some more. I tell him, like, you don't have to plan to be there every single week. We do have subs, but I'm just going to educate him a little more and see what he says.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, you mean referral chips?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea. He should have. I mean, if you were, I see what he's saying. He's saying that Keith may have already came on or something like that. I guess I don't know. We should talk with Chris on that because if you claimed Keith, then yeah, I think we should give you the chips. We'll talk to him again about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll work it out. So, I wanted to go over one story where I got Gabe back. Gabe had another really good poker cash game at his house a couple of weeks ago.
He did.
And very, very well attended. And it was just a miserable night for me. I really got to see what it's like to just not get a hand, or somebody always does it better. But so I was down two buy-ins. Was that 120? Anyways, in the final 30 minutes, I couldn't miss. And I ended up taking Gabe out. And I think I cashed
As
in.
the host.
Yeah, I think I walked away with 50% winning. I mean, I walked away with more money. I can't remember. I think I won with like $100 or something after being down 120. I got all that money back plus another 100 or something. So yeah, it was just being consistent and just waiting and waiting and waiting. And I finally hit some hands. And Gabe at that point, yeah, and Gabe was just he was hitting everything at one time, and then he wouldn't give it up because he got lucky. So he kept thinking the luck was going to continue, and it didn't. And like I had a full house one time, and I thought the only thing I was afraid he was going to have quads. So I think it was jacks, but yeah, he called me, and I think I took him out on that hand. But I've had several hands where I took some big pots and finally got it all back.
Yeah, Gabe seems to be on a streak of hosting every other month or so. So this is his second big cash game that he's had. First time he had 4 tables. This time he had 3 tables. So he had 50 people the first night. I think he had over 30 to 35 people the second night. And so we had that one right after week 9. So we had week 9 on the 18th of December. He had his cash game on the 19th. Yeah, I didn't do too good that night. Of all things, I busted out to trip threes again. So trip threes in the tournament Thursday, and then trip threes in the cash game on Friday. So yeah, it was not my night for trip threes.
One table with White Robert and them, that was a pretty aggressive table.
Oh,
they were having what, $100 in the pot before the flop, right?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, and White Robert, who's actually Bad Robert from a few AIA seasons ago, the one that we had the rule change in the middle of the season for betting so big. I mean, technically he's playing the way tournament poker should be, but it was just a little too high caliber for us. So we had to make some rule changes, and he ended up quitting at the halfway point of the season. So Bad Robert is what he's been referred to as. He came out actually during Gabe's cash night. He's been playing a little bit of beaver poker with us for a couple weeks. So he shows up at the cash game. Well, the first couple go-arounds, he's playing as usual, high betting, aggressive self. He gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar a few times, and he busts out. And on his third rebuy, he finally comes back and actually he's in the plus side. I think he got 300. He cashed in with, I want to say at least 160, but cashed out with 300. So he ended up on the plus. But you're right. That last table, it was him, Jordan, who's an aggressive player, Reneel, who's also an aggressive player. Tanya was there. And
Joe
was there too. Who's also aggressive. So yeah, it was a monster of a table. And I think the one that outdid them all was Bad Robert. He ended up cashing 300.
Yeah.
So fun night.
Yeah, I didn't want to sit at that table. I know that. I was at the table in the living room next to the Christmas tree.
That, of course, is the table that I got busted at. So after that, I didn't play anymore. It was crazy. It was a fun night, though. So, Gabe, kudos to you for another host, another successful night. Hope to see you do it again soon. Let's see. So last couple of weeks was the holidays. We had Christmas and New Year's. How was your Christmas?
Great. I made the nice list, oddly enough. But yeah, great. We spent New Year's up in Texarkana with family, but spent Christmas here. Had Christmas Eve one place, Christmas at another. Really good Christmas and New Year's. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad. I just did the usual, just hung around and played poker and played some of the Beaver League, and we did some WinStar visits. I actually won at WinStar a little bit. I heard Dan, Phil, and Nate made a trip to WinStar last week, and they were out there till 7 a.m.
All night.
Phil lost at the roulette table, but he won it all back playing the 1-3 tables. Nate lost. He went to the 1-2 tables, and there were too many chasers, and he lost. I heard Dan did pretty good too, so they tried to invite me, but I was out at a friend's retirement dinner. I didn't get home till like midnight, so I was too pooped out to go out. But yeah, they had a fun time. Christmas, got the wife nice diamond earrings. So that was always a good thing when you get the wife something that she wasn't expecting. So that was a good Christmas. New Year's, shit, what did we do for New Year's? They didn't do any poker on New Year's, so I think I just hung around the house, tried to protect the dogs from all the fireworks and just had a few drinks. And other than that, I just hung around with family, had fun. But yeah, here it is, 2026 already. Can't believe it. You know, this is 250 years of the country.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to call it, because they did. I remember they did in 1976. They did the bicentennial.
Bicentennial, yeah.
So what are they going to call this? The bicentennial and a half?
The quad something? I don't know. Yeah, it's yeah, I think there is something. But yeah, what you mentioned, I got Christy an Apple Watch. It's something that she would never buy for herself, but now she's really enjoying it. She's learning it. And then I went through Shutterfly, and we did several trips this year, and I put together a photo book called Our First Year together since we
so share that with us.
Yeah, and I'm really not that kind of romantic kind of guy, but that hit me, and I'm like, that was a good idea. So it turned out pretty well. The hard part was picking the cover photo, but once I picked the cover photo, it was then I just did chronological order.
Oh man, you have to put that public or something, or make it to where you can share it with the group.
I'll bring it.
There you go.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool beans. That was what happened in the last 2 weeks. So we get to look forward to week 10 coming up and beyond. One sad note that we have to mention is Ronnie, who is Tanya's stepfather, passed away, unfortunately, last night. At the time of recording, it's the 5th. He passed away on the 4th. But we always want to remember Ronnie for his nickname, the Wild Thing. We had played with him for, it seemed like the last year and a half. He was always the guy that called no matter what. So if you bet into him, you better be sure he's going to be calling. He'll probably be calling still up in heaven. So, Ronnie, we're going to miss you, buddy. It was always great times with you. I believe some of our players even said that. Actually, it was you, Michael, that said that he was always smiling, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I probably did. I think I put something, but yeah, I think someone else said it, actually. But I said
that. That's right. Tim said that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But you're talking about always calling. Yeah, my Royal Flush. He's the one guy who called me on it.
Oh, is he?
But, yeah.
You know what?
And he's a veteran, so we got a few veterans, including myself in this league. So respect his service as well, and he's gonna be missed. He was always a great guy, would tell stories, loved the jokes. He was just a great guy to have at the table. And sadly for me, now I think I am the oldest guy in the league. I just thought about that. I don't
think that's true. I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to mention your age, but I think that.
No.
I think that makes you the oldest, but yeah. So Ronnie, he's a legend, and his legend continues now. And any stories that you have in group chat, guys, feel free to let us know. I know definitely Ronnie's going to be one of the most missed out of all of us. So Ronnie, we love you, buddy. We'll see you until the other side.
We need to have what are those things called? A
remembrance
bounty, a special bounty in his honor or something like that.
Oh yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
the Ronnie bounty. Yeah, so
Wild Man.
The Wild Man bounty. That's it. The Wild Man bounty. All right, so that wraps it up for episode 9. Michael, thanks again for joining me, and appreciate you. So we'll see you Thursday. If you do not come back out there in listener land, you'll be like Andy, Chris, and Marty, missing episode 9.
This is the final countdown, guys.
The final count. Oh, yeah, we didn't say that a whole lot, did we? All right, the final countdown to the season. It ends this Thursday. We'll find out who makes the top 8. Again, thanks again for joining, Michael. I hope you have a good night.
All right, you too.
Take it easy. Bye.